Oh, you're like close up, dude.
Hi, guys. We're going to let them go, let them grow. Let them go, let them grow.
Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back.
Hello.
We're here.
We are.
70-degree weather to 17. It's fun.
Yeah, no kidding.
It was 17 this morning, and now it's 60 and sunny.
Oh, it's not that warm here.
Yeah, we had
Like
snow
36.
this morning, the biggest snowflakes of the year, and now it's beautiful and sunny. Like literally all in one day. What's up, Melvin?
Oh, we're doing this live. This ain't a recording.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. No, that's fine. I'm just really sad.
Wilson.
I'm really sad that my camera's like, this is really uncomfortable being this close, but whatever. We'll figure
You
it
don't
out.
really look that close to
Yeah,
me.
you don't look that close.
Okay. All right.
No,
very
you're good. And your hat covers up most of your head anyway, so you're good.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I look like a clown. I look like a clown right now after this summer. My face is all peeling off from this
I
past
can
weekend.
sit back as far as I want. I still look just as big on camera. Probably bigger.
And because I'm looking at you guys, it looks like I'm looking over here, but my camera's over here. So yeah, it's fine. We're really professional over here at the last run.
Where can I see who joins the room, or can I see who joins the room?
No, we can't see who joins the room. You can only see comments. Down there in the corner, we've got them on the screen. We'll go ahead and get started. I am Ashley from Last Call Catfishing.
I'm Julie from Running Gun Catfishing, and today we have. So you
Jeremy
say your name.
Chasing Outdoors.
Kayak Mike, host, owner, operator, I guess you'd call, of online catfishing tournaments. I do have YouTube and stuff. I've been kind of slacking ever since I kind of became a full-time tournament administrator, so my YouTube and stuff isn't the best recently. And yeah, essentially full-time tournament director and kind of content creator.
Glad to have
you guys.
Kind of content creator. I mean, you were fishing in a 2-mile-an-hour current on the river this weekend, so I mean, it's.
Well, I wish it was 2 miles. It was more like 3. No, it was a good time, and so I can't say where I was quite yet. So anyone who was following my socials, I'll admit I was not on the Ohio River. But the individual I was fishing with asked me not to announce where we were fishing for a few months because he doesn't like people knowing where he fishes in real time, and I respect that. So I won't say anything. Yeah. I told everyone I was in Paul Brown Stadium in the morning, and then I said we took our kayaks to the Falls of the Ohio, and then I said we kayaked over to Meldal, and then I said we finished in the Little Miami River. So some people genuinely thought we did all that. I was like, they don't know where we actually went.
Yeah, that's funny.
Well, I have a question for you, Mike, because I have a lot of people that, and thank you, ladies, for allowing me to get on here, but I have a question about the online tournament.
Mm-hmm.
Can you tell what the actual website is so people that want to check it out can go to that website? So
the app is called Fishing Chaos, and I'm actually on my screen over here just pulling things up just so we can get a look at stuff. The group name is Online Catfishing Tournaments. Let me go ahead and share my screen. I know how to do this.
Online Catfishing Tournaments, you said?
Yep. Online Catfishing Tournaments is the name of the group that runs the tournaments. Entire screen, right screen. There we go. All right. So, and we have multiple trails running. And the beauty about the online catfishing tournaments is not just my group, but in general, I can run any tournament for anywhere in the country at any point in time. And we could do any kind of tournament anyone wants to do at any point in time. We could do length, we could do weight, we could do just flatheads, we could do just blue cats, we could do just channel cats, we could do one of each. There's no slot limit. I can make a slot limit, but you can have no slot limit to where the best fisherman truly wins that day. I can turn on and off the geotags. So I know in our world, a big concern is I have access to all the geotags, and that's one of our anti-police, or that's one of our anti-cheating things is when you submit your photo, I can see where you submitted it from and where you took that picture, but I also have the ability to turn that off. So that's kind of the big thing that some people are hesitant because they're like, well, I don't want the administrator to be able to see the locations. I'm kind of the perfect storm when it comes to having the geolocations because I am one of, if not the laziest fisherman on the face of the planet. I'm not exactly going to look where and see where you're fishing and then go fish. If I can't bump, I'm not fishing. So I fish below dams, and that's essentially it.
Mike, let me ask something about that geotag because it has been brought up. Typically with kayaks, you're not going to catch a fish, drive somewhere else, take a picture, and then submit it. So it would be where they're typically catching the fish at because you can't get around fast. But somebody on a boat during a tournament, a length tournament, could, I guess, if you take your picture, can you submit it later?
Yeah, you could submit it. So like the month-long tournament,
wherever you submit it at is where you're going to see it came from.
I see
if it's
both.
turned on.
I see both. I see where you took the picture because that's called ESIF data, and I see where you submitted it from. So if you don't want people to know, if you don't want me to know where you live, don't submit it from your house because that geotag's going to pop up wherever you submit it from. I always suggest anglers submit it from where you caught it if the rules say we're going to have that geotag on. But to your point, let's say you're having a tournament on Kerr Lake because Kerr Lake does have gas in right next to it. The only way to police it to make sure nobody trailered over there would be to have the geotags on if you want to have just a Kerr Lake only tournament. That's the only way to police it. But that's the same as that thing in the weight world. Like that, anytime someone brings up the quote unquote ways to cheat in our event, I can just say you could do it in a weight event too. Like why does it matter on our side when you have to deal with the same exact potential cheating capabilities? At some point, you have to rely on the anglers to follow the rules. Sure. So what we can do is for the boat side, and I know there's been a lot of talk about people wanting to kind of move to length as like more of a standard. I want everyone to understand I'm not pro or anti either. I love both. I do think we should have more length during hotter temperature fishing. I truly do. But your colder water temperatures, let's have our, because there's nothing more exciting than seeing an 80-pound fish come out of a live well. Like there's places and times for that too. But if you want to have a geotag turned off, we could do that no problem. And everyone meets at the ramp. You hand out the identifiers right then and there. That way no one can take an old picture and put that identifier in. That way the fish was caught then and there. You change nothing about the tournament, literally nothing about the tournament. And all you do is you submit it on an app via length as opposed to transferring these fish hundreds of miles, taking them off beds and all that kind of stuff. And here's the thing. You don't even have to do length. If you trust your anglers enough, you can have them take videos and photos of them weighing it as long as everyone agrees on the devices to weigh. I can make the tournament weight. You can go in and submit your weight.
So everybody can weigh their net theoretically, and if it's not universal, and weigh it in their own net, and then that gets deducted off in front of everybody.
Yeah. It's literally like there's literally nothing we can do that a boat tournament can't do other than physically weigh in at a weigh station, and that's kind of the whole purpose of what we do is release them where you catch them. I'm not against weight tournaments. I fish tournaments. I support tournaments. I don't typically do very good in tournaments. Let's be honest here, but hey, hey. But I enjoy it. I enjoy going to see the people. I enjoy, going up, taking the fish out. But you can't preach. You have to. I feel like you gotta give another option, alternative out there for people to start. We're all going at these fish care commercial fishermen pay lakes that are trophy pay lakes and saying they don't take care. Well, we can do better, and there's other ways to do better. And I think that's kind of like a big thing that I wanted to talk to you about and hear your side of what Fishing Chaos and the online tournaments do. And I really like the idea. The capabilities
huge.
Yeah, and there's no added pressure. I mean, at the end of the day, we're hooking a fish in the face and putting it on in a picture and releasing it, but there's no added pressure other than that.
Right.
So
I like the fact of what you said that they go back if you do pull them off of a bed. Well, I don't like fishing during what a known spawn time is, but if you do pull them off, you're putting them right back in, right there.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Are
And
you guys
if
okay
the
if we just pop up the comments on the bottom? I didn't want them to cover up Jeremy.
Oh, that doesn't bother me at all.
Okay.
It's all good. So I guess if the geotag's turned off and everybody, I mean, you still have the same system, everybody can still do a length tournament. Is there ways to cheat the fish on a board one way or the other? How do you?
So yes and no. So the beauty about doing length, fish can only have so much length. Period. End of story. Even if you manually manipulate it. But can you guys share my screen real quick? I just popped. No, not mine. The
other one.
The computer screen.
Julie, do you know how to do that?
No, I just see it. Add to stage.
Okay,
There
so
it is.
this is my screen. So this is a tournament last year. I'm just going to show a fish that I submitted. That way I don't accidentally show a geotag of someone else. So the way we do our blue cats and channels, it's right side down, left side up. Everyone has to do every blue cat and channel like that. That way you don't submit the same fish on the other side. If everyone's using the same exact measuring, and we don't do it on the belly, because the problem when you do channels and blues on the belly, that forked fin, now I have to make an eyeball decision. Whereas if you leave your fish on their side, this is actually, in my opinion, better for them because they have that's where their rib cage is. That's the most sturdy part of their body. Their belly, if you're weighing a fish out of the water, you're putting all of the gravity on the softest, weakest part. So measuring catfish on their belly, blues and channels, is actually the worst way to measure it. I know people argue sometimes that we don't measure our fish the same way the state does. That doesn't mean the state's doing it right or good for the animal. This is a much healthier way to measure the fish. Right side down, left side up. They have to clearly be bumped. So you see this one's clearly bumped. And then we do 1/4 inches. That way that it's, we've dabbled in 1/8 inches, but it gets a little too hairy. So this fish was 21.75 inches right here. There's a 22-inch mark. And then this was the unique identifier for this tournament. It was LEAG. So I have it written down a bunch because I'm notorious for like covering up half of a letter. And we're very serious when it comes to our rules on how to judge. If I was like, let's say I only wrote LEAG one time and half of the E was taken off or half the A was taken off, that fish is getting disqualified because I don't have the official, even though I might have used it earlier, even though everyone might know for sure that was the one I used all day. If it ain't perfect, it don't count. But those are our rules are real simple. Right side down, left side up, bump it, make sure we can see the whole fish, identifier. It's literally that simple. And then as far as the ESIF data, I caught this fish on East Fork Lake. So when I submit it, this is something that I see. So right here on East Fork Lake, that's exactly where I took the picture and that's exactly where I submitted it from. And this is the part that people get nervous about. See, me, I'll tell anyone where I fish. I don't care. But I know a lot of people don't want this information out there. So if you want, we could just run a tournament, like a traditional tournament. I turn this off. If I judge the fish, if I'm judging your tournament, I won't even get access to this. No one else, on my platform, there's not a single other administrator who has access to anything, not a single tournament. Since the day I created this until now, no one else has access to any of this information but me. There's, in my world, if you're an administrator and if you have been accused of giving points away, you get slaughtered. No one trusts you. So like one way I can easily say I've never given it out is the rumor doesn't even exist that I've ever given out any kind of ESIF data, GPS points, etc. Because if I did, I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing. Like your name would get tarnished. You wouldn't be allowed in the fishing community. Period. End of story. Like there's no coming back from that.
Yeah.
Well, in the boat world, I mean, I don't know that it's that big of a deal if everybody shows up at the boat ramp and we trust them to go out and catch the fish, put them in the live well and bring them back. Why not trust them to go out, launch without the geotag on there and come back and the result of the results, and everybody gets to hand out the winnings and the first place, second place pictures. Great. Hold up a phone, put a TV up, whatever.
Yeah,
it's
and
doable, correct?
Yeah, it's completely doable. And on
So
top of that, you have
people willing to try this, whether it be length or weight.
Mm-hmm.
What does it cost a tournament trail? What does it cost an individual to use this?
So each individual tournament, there is anywhere from like a $3 to $5 individual tournament fee for the app. That's not me. That's for the app itself. If you want to get an annual app fee, it's $43 or $44. So if you plan on fishing anywhere from like 8 to 12 tournaments, just get their annual fee, because then it's $0 per tournament. So if you pay $45 a year, you can fish 100 tournaments. I host anywhere from 70 to 80 a year. So if you fish 1/8 of my tournaments, then you pay. But there's also a lot of other people who hold tournaments. There's another scene that does month-long boat events and stuff. I do month-long events that have boats and or kayaks and banks. So that's how much it costs to get in there. For me personally, I charge an additional $20 membership fee for me, because anyone who fishes one of my events, you're insured. I pay for insurance every single year. Every single year, that's anywhere between $1,000 and $1,500, just depending on how many members we had year prior. So as long as I charge $20 a person, I will be able to pay for the insurance. And then if I have any leftover cash, which is never, we put that towards extra prizes for the tournament series at the end of the year. Another beautiful thing about this is when you have a series, have you ever seen like posts from tournament trails where they'll post like points and stuff for the tournament trail? The app takes care of all that for me. When an event finishes, it's real time. Like, let's say you submit a fish and you're first place in that individual tournament. If you hop over to the series standings, it will show you where you actively sit in real time in that series. So something that we do that's a lot of fun during the tournaments, like we will do live updates. Hey, so-and-so's in first, so-and-so's in second. We'll post the fish that they've been catching all day. So there's so much more you can do when you're on the electronic side, as opposed to just doing, an in-person weigh-in, because an in-person weigh-in, no one knows the results until at the end.
Right. So
just real quick, there's a comment here I wanted to read. Josh Roth says, I like what Alex with Twisted Cat started doing at the Alton Catfish Classic last fall. They were measuring water temp, dissolved oxygen content, and pH level, I think, in everyone's live wells. It was very cool to see that and inspired me to rework my live well for the Boots on the Water event, but unfortunately we didn't boat anything, so I couldn't try it out. That is pretty neat.
Yeah, no, that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool.
And
Julie,
Willie,
sorry, go ahead.
I'm just trying to catch up on the comments. When you were showing the graph and stuff, Willie said, don't lay Jeremy on his belly.
Careful, Willie. I got pictures of somebody from the tournament struggling to hold a fish.
Charlie likes your backdrop, Jules.
Yeah, it's because it's Charlie.
I almost didn't believe him when he said he was a real cowboy.
Yeah. Back in his younger years. Mike will talk for the entire show and won't let anyone else say a word.
Oh, man.
I mean, I'm the guest. I'm allowed to do that. I'm the guest.
I think that's from your fan club.
Yeah.
And Josh also says they didn't dock you for insufficient live well conditions, but that definitely could be something worth considering if poor live well conditions existed. Yeah, that would be neat to see, especially in the summertime when it's hot.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
The whole purpose is to take better care of the fish.
Yeah.
If we don't take care of them, we can't preach to other people that they need to take care of them. Simple as that.
Yep. And we have the solution. That technology exists. It's right here. It's literally right here. But again, I kind of want to emphasize, like, I'm not a preacher for get rid of weight events. I don't ever want to be labeled as that. But I also, if anyone ever wants me to help them put on a trail, and here's another thing: you don't have to be in Ohio. If you live in Nebraska and you want to run a length event, hit me up. I don't ask you guys I don't charge a administration fee for your tournament. I just ask your members because it's my butt on the line if someone gets hurt in your tournament on my platform. So I do, you have to pay the $20 membership fee. I'm sorry, I'm not getting rid of that, but you're insured and you don't have to do any of the work. You literally, all you have to do is the advertising. I do everything behind the scenes for you.
So is the Julie and I know Melvin and Tabitha are on here. I know you guys have fished online tournaments. I don't know if it was this chaos or if it was a different.
It was just through TikTok.
Okay, so that's a different platform, obviously, to do an
Yeah.
online tournament.
Yeah.
And I'm
So
assuming you
it's
guys are
still
doing
live.
that live. Yeah.
Was
Most
it
of the time
weight?
you
Was
could
it length? Was it?
Wait. So you always zero in your net, or if you're using grips or whatever, you zero in whatever you're using to weigh the fish in, and then you have to zero. It has to lock out when you're holding the fish up, and you can do it by video as well. So like if you're in an area where you can't go live because you don't always have service, of course, you can do it by video, and you have to submit the video of all of it. So you have your identifying number. So you just say like I'm 201 or whatever, and lock it out, zero it out, all the things, and then show the weight that way too. But most people go live or hop in there live to do the weigh in if you have service.
A lot
But
of
it was
people
always
have
by
been
weight.
saying, "Well, I don't care for the length tournament. That's fine.
Yeah.
This is cool that there's another option for weight." And that's
Yeah.
what people said. Well, we don't if this capability's there, I don't know that you need to. I mean, I've heard people say, "Well, stick a ref on everybody's boat." Well, and maybe we could get that to happen, but I don't know
Kind
what
of
you need.
Yeah.
If you have a video proof,
Mm-hmm.
have you ever had
Yeah,
anybody like try to cheat on the videos, or have you ever seen anybody? Or I mean, without saying names or call, I'm
Yeah.
curious. Has it happened out there, like talked about, or?
Actually, I could bring that up. So if anyone ever accuses another angler of cheating, or not, I don't even want to say cheating. So let's say you submit a fish. I'll go to the simplest to the most severe. Let's say you submit a fish incorrectly, and I, as a judge, for some reason didn't catch it, and I approved your fish. Other anglers have the ability to click on that fish, hit contest. They're going to hit contest, and then I get a notification as the administrator. Somebody contested this fish, and this is why. So I go back in. Oh, I made a human error. I didn't notice this. I correct the score. We go. So that's the simplest way. And I don't even call that cheating. I just call, because I do it all the time. I had to knock off 2.5 inches off a tournament of myself last year, and I lost the tournament by an inch because I kept on making the same error, and I didn't notice I was making it. I was fishing at night. I didn't notice I was making this error over and over and over again. I had to ding myself. It cost me the tournament. It's going to happen. The more severe stuff is, and I'll use a real life example that happened. I had an angler in a state fishing. Are you guys all from Ohio, or are we all from other places?
I'm from Ohio. We're all from Ohio.
Okay, so
I live in Kentucky now, but I'm from Ohio.
Yeah, so Meldal Dam has a line you can, an imaginary line you cannot pass and go up past it and fish. This angler, it wasn't at Meldal, it was in another state at another dam, but the dam had a sanctuary area you could not fish in. But you were allowed to go up to the line and fish below it. This angler notoriously fished right then and there. But he liked to mess with people online and take photos of his fish right in front of the no fishing sign. So I can see exactly where he took his picture, all that kind of stuff. So I reached out to him and I said, hey, man, you're being accused of cheating. This is what you're being accused of cheating of doing. You're fishing in an illegal area, blah, 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 blah. And he said, I'm not fishing in an illegal area, all that fun stuff. I reached out to the DNR. I sent the DNR the ESIF location. I said, is this illegal fishing? You tell me if this is illegal fishing. If this is illegal fishing, I have to disqualify this angler. If this is not illegal fishing, this angler's okay. The DNR said there's nothing illegal about those GPS coordinates. He's good to go. So I told the angler, you're good to go. I'm like, you're not cheating. I know you like to get a rise out of people by posting in front of the do not fish sign. Because unfortunately, when you're on social media, we see the do not fish sign from another state, and we just blanket that whole area is not legal. Where he was fishing legally, but he was at the line. Same thing, Meldal Dam. You can go up to the line. There's an imaginary line. You can go up to the line at the buoy, and you can fish below it. You're not legally allowed to be above it. So that was one situation where I had an angler who was being accused of cheating, and that's kind of how I have it or handle it. And if I hear rumors that an angler is potentially bending the rules or cheating, I'm not the administrator who's going to let those rumors just fly. I immediately tell the angler, you're being accused of this. If it's true, stop it. Because once I get photo evidence, like what people don't understand is when you get banned from our scene from cheating, you're blackballed from tournament fishing, period. Like, that's just what happens. I'm sure you guys saw the picture of the kayak bass fisherman who had a cutout kayak on his boat.
Yes, that's
Like,
yeah.
he's blackballed for the rest of his life. He's not going to be able to fish anything for the rest of his life. It's the same thing. Cheating happens so infrequently on our side that it's the main times cheating happens, it's a mistake. Somebody fished a body of water they weren't allowed to fish. Somebody crossed a line they weren't allowed to cross. Somebody was fishing a state they were unfamiliar with and had a 4th rod out in Ohio instead of 3. Like, normally it's that kind of stuff. In our world, it's I haven't had to deal with any true controversies yet. But I mean, it's competition. Where there's competition, where there's money, where there's men, there's going to be idiots. So, like, there's going to be a level of drama no matter what period. You'll never get rid of it. You just, as an administrator, you just got to be an adult and just, just hit the people up who are being accused of this stuff. And if they don't like what you have to say, whatever. If they like what you have to say, just go on with your day.
How could introduce?
Aaron Kersey has a question for you. How could we introduce something like this to the tournament, like the Ohio Valley River Cats 2-day tournament?
I'm actually kind of working with Hannon. So there's also another thing. I don't think that's my laundry to air out. But I've talked to Hannon about letting. I've talked to Hannon.
That loudmouth anyway. I haven't seen him in here trying to make me laugh.
I've talked to Hannon about taking the registration over, and we'll see.
You have a very.
We've tried to talk him into doing a live weigh-in, like leaving the fish in the live well, and he wouldn't agree to that. So I'm kind of curious if he would even entertain this idea.
That would be tough.
Why? It's got the perfect location. You could drive through there with the boats, and the people could still be there to watch the weigh-in.
You could drive through there? There's a way to get out the other side?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you can circle all around there. Are
you saying like down by the boat ramp and then back up? Or are you saying down along the riverway?
Well, like where we come in the morning, where they line up in the morning to check boats.
Top.
Yeah.
Up top,
so shut the road down.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you meant like where they currently weigh the fish and have people drive through there. I was like, I didn't know there was a turnaround there.
Yeah.
I mean, it'd be interesting to see it happen, but he has publicly said before he's not going to do that. So, But it would be a cool thing to do. It would change it up, and I feel like it would attract more people to that. But the biggest thing is he just has to, or the city, I guess, has to want to change it. So I don't know. That's what he said publicly before. They didn't want it like that, so he's not going to do it. I don't know.
And as far as registration, I've chatted with him briefly about moving the registration over to a platform like mine, and then I can just pull registration, literally date, time, registered, boom, right there. There's
whoever sends it in instantaneous down to the second.
Yep, and everyone can see it. Like literally everyone can see it. So 1201 hits, I register, I refresh the page, there's my name. Immediate. Now, when let's say there's 30 people at 1201 trying to register, you refresh that for 5 minutes. It might not be perfect, but I can pull the Excel spreadsheet in real time, click download, and show everyone this is exactly who registered when. There's no controversy whatsoever. It's like, this is your number. Don't care.
Yeah.
So Jack Scholes is saying, in his opinion, tipping off other anglers who is on the fish.
Great. So that's beautiful question. So in our tournaments, we don't force anglers to submit their fish right away. If you want to wait till the end of the tournament, we give you an hour leeway to submit them. That way, if you're one of those old school guys who don't want anyone to know how you're doing all day, that's perfectly fine. It's not mandatory. You can, if the tournament ends at 4, you have till 5 p.m. to submit your submissions. You don't have to let everyone know.
I can see that two different ways. In the kayak, you're not going to have people going miles to where somebody else potentially is because it's going to take you forever to get there.
Mm-hmm.
B, boats, that could happen, I guess, but I don't know. But
I feel like that's a legit concern. You don't, and then we always make it. You don't have to submit it in real time. You can submit it at the end.
Problem solved.
But I'm gonna be honest, in our world, like people kind of like to trash talk. So once you believe it or not, even if you feel like you don't like that one tournament that you catch 140 inches worth of 3 fish in the first hour and a half, there's something to knowing you can post that and demoralize everyone in the tournament. It's a good feeling. I don't check when I'm in a tournament. I don't check the leaderboard till the end. I submit my fish and I post and ghost because I don't want to know how my opponents are doing.
Let's see. Willie says thank you for your support with the race team. He also said something about on race day. I don't know where his comment went.
I'll be at Florence this Saturday, Willie. So I hope I see you there, bud. Talking about Rising Sun.
I got the debt collectors always after me. Steven's always got to talk about that. I'm like, dude, listen.
So how can here's another question. How can 2 people in the same boat fish as a team with the app?
Oh, it's just one person has the app downloaded, one person registers, they just log in, they go and submit their fish. You can make it to where a team has access to the same team and either person on either phone can submit it. I don't necessarily advise that just because let's say something comes into question and you have pictures on your phone, she has pictures on her phone. Now we got to like bounce back and forth between 2 phones. I wouldn't necessarily do that. I would probably keep everything on one phone, but you can make it that multiple people have the same access to the same team.
Did I miss? I probably missed something there. Somebody asked, they're trying to get on here, and I was sharing the link. So you could run still 2-person, 3-person team, and it's a per boat weight online or per length boat online, correct?
Yeah, we do that. We do that. Yeah, we do that already. Like we have a lot of tournaments where boats are allowed to enter. They can run their 6 rods with their 4 people on their boat. That's perfectly fine. It's normally just one submission for that team. It's just like a weigh-in tournament. 3 people fish on a boat. You weigh in 1 set of fish. Same as I think on the app. 3 people fish on the boat. It's 1 submission for your team on it.
So you could also change it to whatever you wanted. So for length, you could say, hey, it is your 3 biggest fish. It could be 3 overs.
Yeah. And the beauty too is the app automatically calls. You know how? Have you ever been in a tournament?
Oh, when you show the numbers for everything, but it'll call for you. It'll just track the longest ones or whatever.
Yep. So like, let's say you have a great day and you catch 40 fish and you can't remember you submit them, just submit every single fish. The app will automatically keep your top 3, your top 5, whatever on as your main fish. You don't have to, how many times have you had that 9.5 pound fish, 9.6 pound fish, and you can't figure out which one you want to keep? Because like the one that's heavier looks smaller, and in the app you submit it, boom, it does everything for you. There's no thinking, there's no fish losing weight in the live well. He's not puking nothing. He can't puke nothing up and lose any weight in the live well on the way there. He can't loosen himself, and all of a sudden now you have 3 overs in the boat instead of 2. Like also, we're here to catch big fish. You can have a 5-fish tournament, 5 biggest fish. You can have 5 50-pound fish submitted to a leaderboard. You don't have to do this 3 over. You don't have to do like 3 over, 2 under.
So there's a comment here, and I just want to address it, and I want to ask him why he feels that way. Like he says,
you know what they say about opinions.
Yeah, everybody has one.
Shouldn't exist. I thought he fished some of my stuff. Am I wrong? I could be wrong.
Willie again. Keeping the fish in water direct from the live well to the buggy, then back to the buggy in the water. Does seem like a good idea.
I'll address Derek's. So Derek's probably like, hey, 2 34-inch fish aren't going to weigh the same. I've hosted 300 to 400 events, conservatively, probably more like 500. I've competed in 250 to 300. 99.9% of the time, most length also equates to clearly most weight. And then someone will say, well, how do you know you didn't weigh them? I have eyes. I've caught tens of thousands of catfish. I can look at someone's overall, like yes, let's say 2 people have a 34-inch fish. We're not going to know. But one of those people is going to have 120 inches. The other person's going to have 105 inches on their total leaderboard. So that 120 inches is going to outweigh that 105. Period. End of story. It's very, very, very rare that it comes down to it's that close. Like, just go to any big fishing tournament. When was the last time you saw the top 5 guys all within a quarter pound of each other? It doesn't happen. There's normally giant gaps, which means that I promise you, if you measured all those fish at all these tournaments, there would be giant gaps in the most length for the top guys versus the second, third, fourth, fifth, and so on. So the results don't change. I would put my career salary on, if you measured every single fish at all these tournaments, at all these big tournaments, I would put my career salary on 95% of those tournaments or more. Most length is equated to most fish or most weight.
Well, here's the thing to that. You've already shown it doesn't have to be a length tournament. You can do the same online tournament with weight on the boat.
Yeah.
It works. So do your
also,
weight.
And at the end of the day, as long as all the competitors agree to the rules, who cares?
If there's,
who cares?
5 people, Mike, or 10 people that want to do a trial run, could those people go out on this platform? Could they go out and 2-person teams, and there's 5 teams, and they want to go out and just try this out? They have their bump board, which we need to talk about that, okay? And then they also have their scale. Could they do a trial length and a trial weight on the same day with the same fish caught and the same identifiers?
Yeah, I could run that for anybody. And like that kind of stuff, test stuff, I wouldn't ask them to get my membership fee or anything. They would still have to pay like the Fishing Chaos app. I can't get around that. They can't make the app free. You know what I mean? But I would make it a zero. I would make it like a 1 penny tournament. They would pay $5.
Maybe there's sponsors that are already giving stuff like tackle and this, that, and everything. Maybe some people would throw in $25-$50 to cover some costs for groups.
Mm-hmm.
Why not?
I mean, you could do that on your own boat if you wanted to.
Yeah.
Get you a bump board and start weighing your fish.
What I would love, and this would be very difficult because I don't necessarily have all the connections. Some of these existing tournaments, we get a couple anglers we give them a bump board. We give like 10 boats a bump board and say, hey, look, just submit all your fish that you catch today to my leaderboard. I just want you guys just to get the feel of it, just to see how easy it is. And then you can compare your results at the end of your tournament versus where you end up on this tournament. And I'll make the rules the same exact rules as whatever tournament you're in. Because I can make it 3 overs, 2 unders, 2 overs, 2 unders. I can make the rules anything I want. Because the only way my results will differ is, have you ever been in a tournament where you catch like 7 overs and no unders and you lose because you didn't catch a single damn under, or vice versa? Mm-hmm. Well, if I don't put the slots in, then that will skew it. But I could put all the slot information in that these tournaments have too.
I mean, so I see Jesse's comment there, and I want to say something to that, because not all scales are created equal, and I agree with that. So you can have 10. So either you go to one universal scale for whatever tournament trail that is, A, or B, you just take whatever the tolerance is, and it is what it is, because some people come to a weigh-in scale with their fish dry. Some people come and they pull them out of the water and put them on, and that fish out of the water right onto the scale is going to weigh more. Even with drain holes, you're talking probably an ounce or possibly a little different. Mm-hmm. So it's never exact depending on how people bring their fish to the scales.
And that's the difference with length. Length doesn't lie.
Right. I get that.
There's no weights in fish in length. Actually, you're hurting yourself. If you put weights in fish in a length tournament, that thing is going to shorten up because you're going to make its belly expand.
Yeah.
It's going to look like you, bud.
Hey.
I'm just kidding. I'm right there with you, man.
Here, midget.
I got the nickname Fat Mike for a reason.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh, I don't think I ever addressed, can anyone alter the fish? Yes, there are ways to alter the fish, but at the end of the day, in the picture, you cannot be manually manipulating it. So we always say the fish has to be lying as is. You can have a hand placed down if they're flopping around a lot, but if I see your hand placed down and there's like flesh, I can clearly tell you're holding it down too hard. I'll reduce your entry. And another beauty about my side, you don't have to go into full forfeits all the time. If somebody makes a mental error, I can just knock off a 1/4 inch or a 1/2 inch or a full inch off of their submission. If they just make a silly mental error, let's say they didn't put the nose right on the bump. All right, I'll knock a 1/2 inch off that fish. There's no reason to fully DQ that fish. It doesn't make any sense. He caught the fish. It's on the leaderboard. He made a mistake in the rules as far as measuring it. I give him a 1/2 inch deduction. Go on with your day.
That fish that you showed earlier with the grippers in its mouth.
Mm-hmm.
If the grippers weren't there and its side fin was laid more flat, would you have gained or lost anything there? And is that why you err on the side of a 1/4 inch?
Yeah. And here's the thing: if I take those grippers out, I might get to that next 1/4 inch line. Might, but in my experience, that 99% of tournaments aren't coming down to a 1/4 inch. They're just not. So, and I leave the grippers in because I cannot tell you how many times I'm in a kayak. I'm this far away from the water. I cannot tell you how many times I'm picturing a 45-inch fish and that guy flops out of the kayak. So I leave the grippers in, and the trick is you never want the hard plastic grippers in my world. You never want the hard plastic grippers because they're going to break. Catfish is going to break that on a death roll. I have the grippers that spin, so when you hold it by the handle, it spins. That gives them freedom to not break their jaw if you're holding them and they go for a death roll. And then you put them on a bungee. So when he flops out and he goes to make his run, have you ever seen a dog with a tight collar run and get jerked back? Well, those dogs that are on the collars that slowly go out, it's not as bad because they extend slower. There's more pressure that comes out. Same thing with the fish. If he goes for a run, he's not going to jerk his face off and break his jaw. He's going to go for a run. He's going to get stuck. I'm going to be able to put him back in the kayak. But so that's why I use the gripper, and I leave him grip the whole time throughout the picturing process.
Can we talk about fish handling? That's something that not necessarily just with your tournament, but with a lot of tournaments. I mean, and a lot of people you see online. That something else I feel like we need to talk about it. It's not popular to talk about, but it is what it is. People that will grab a 20, 30, 40-pound fish by grips and stick it straight up in the air. I've grabbed a probably 15, 18-pound fish before by just thumbing its jaw and picking it up, and I've felt something pop before.
Oh, yeah, right here. I've witnessed it pop.
Normal, and that's not good. So I try not to do that anymore. I would cradle it, obviously, and it's just something that I feel like everybody should think about. You see it in pictures.
I don't think a lot of people understand that either. You know what I mean? Because if you watch, because if you watch our video, like when we caught our 75 and our 85, like neither one of us are holding them by the jaw. Like we're literally down in the live well with our arms around them to pull them out of the live well for that reason. Because he has said the same thing. Like you can hear it pop on a 5-pound fish. Can you imagine what that's doing to an 85 when you hold them like that?
Mm-hmm. And just because they swim away doesn't mean it.
Yeah.
That's a common misconception. I feel like people say, well, my fish swam away.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it did. But again, if you're you have to practice what you preach.
Another nice thing, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
And another nice thing about the length tournaments, especially in a kayak, once I land that fish, I roll him out of the net, I lift him up 6 inches to get him on the board, and then I roll him off the kayak. If it's a real big one and I want to get a hero shot, cool. But if you have your bump board on the floor of your boat, the only time that fish ever really has to get handled is rolling him onto the board, take your picture, throw him out. So that's another advantage of doing a length style tournament or maybe just a simple weigh-in tournament online as opposed to, because when you take them, especially when you're dealing with slots, how many times do you have a close slot fish and you take that guy out 30 times that day to compare him to other fish?
Yeah, I bought 3 boards off of what was that company's name, Mike?
It's Muskie Bumper. We currently use the Muskie Bumper because it's the best thing in our world right now that works.
And I got that, and I got the larger one because if you catch a 40, what's that go to? 60 inches, I think.
It goes to 60 inches and 10 inches wide.
And the other one is like 42 or 48. And if you catch a 50-inch fish, you only get 48 inches.
Yep. Yeah.
Correct.
You only get what the board's
So
showing.
you go to
Yeah.
the 60-inch board. And I bought 3 of them. They're in 3 people's hands down that are going to fish the polecat tournament down in Tennessee with John Stringfield, Melvin and Tabitha, and Justin Hatfield. And I think probably like Mike Graham might get one as well to try out that tournament trail and try the length because of, it gets even hotter down there faster.
Where'd I put it?
But I'm willing to buy some more for trials for people up in this region in the Ohio and try them, probably get 3 or 4 more here real soon. And I do know that Alva Jones at Reel and Deal, he's going to be carrying them now. So I think we can buy them through Alva, which is local to Columbus. So I'm just saying kind of out here publicly, I'm going to buy probably 3 or 4 just to let those people down there keep those, have for trial purposes, and then do the same thing up here. 3 or 4 people up here that want to try and participate.
I just know that I would roll a kayak over.
You would think. So the kayaks that we're in today, 20 years ago, if they were made, they would be called small boats. They wouldn't even be classified as a kayak.
Just admit, Mike, I'd probably sink it.
Yeah, I just know for a fact that as soon as I try to let a fish out, if I could even get it off the hook, let's start there. If I could even get it off the hook on my own, all by myself, and then I go to try and release it, and it just yanks a couple times, we're going over. It's going to be done.
My buddy
is.
My
in the house.
Oh, I'm sorry. My buddy caught this. My buddy almost went for a dip last year in the Mississippi River after he caught this. So this is a 47.5-inch fish. He got pictured. He was able to get it at 48 inches, but it's really tough to get them pictured perfect because they're slimy, they're moving around. But yeah, this was all of, I don't know, we would just say conservatively 65-pound fish or so, give or take. But yeah, this is how we measure them. This is on the big boy. This is on the 10-inch wide by 60-inch long. And
that's nothing to throw into a live well on a boat if you're carrying. You know what I'm saying? That's easy.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, we got these in our kayaks, so it has to fit on a boat.
Right.
Yeah.
So that picture there, and then
flatheads we do measure on the belly, though. We do measure our flatheads on the belly because, in my opinion, for flatheads, it's better on. They're literally designed to lay flat most of their life, so it actually, in my opinion, is better. When you try and put a flathead on their side and measure them, they just look good. They go all cattywampus, and it just doesn't look good for. They're actually upside down. It doesn't look good for the fish. So, here's an example of a big flathead.
Mike say something really stupid. Wesley Mann says that we need to liven the show up.
Oh no, I need to behave. Dude, my world's in chaos right now. I can't say nothing stupid. Everything's crumbling around me, and I am not part of any of it. It's crazy. It's crazy. People are saying crazy stuff over here. People are, it's just nuts.
Hey, Wes, thanks for your support. Appreciate it. Pay attention. Help us out here with some ideas in the comment. That doesn't have to do with Jeremy sinking kayaks.
Twisted Cat also has a bump board. I don't know the guy's name, but we got one from them at Bama Blues last year. They're really nice bump boards. So I don't know if Josh is still on here. He might know who they use, but
is there a way? Somebody threw this idea out to me. I don't know but in the bottom of that board, let's say 2 inches from the bump, that you cut a slot out 12 inches back, just a hewed out slot in the bottom of that board. That way, if a big fish or a small fish its bottom fin would fit better in that board.
Oh, we do that. We do that all the time. You're allowed to alter your board.
So you can
as long as it doesn't mess with
to make it in there better and easier. Because if it is up on its fin like that, you feel like it ain't going to help its length at all.
No, it's actually going to make them smaller because they're going to kind of TP up and it's going to pull their tail.
So that is
a lot of guys have a cutout on their board in like the 3 to 8 inch range and 1 or 2 inches wide to have that fin sit through.
And then even for like that flathead, I mean, I don't know that would matter, but one to go in the back of it just a little bit. Kevin,
and then we our first month long's going on. This isn't the final results, but this is the series standings. You get 100 points for a win, 99 points for second, 98 for third, etc. So the series points is updated in real time as people submit their fish. So Jacob L's in first right now, John H is in second, and then if I roll over to the tournament, so Jacob, John, Blaine, that's going to be the top 3 in this. It's the first one, so it's going to be the top 3 in our tournament if we come over here. Jacob, John, Blaine. Now, next tournament, there will be a whole new set of 100 points to win. And as people submit, they're going to get plus 100, plus 99 in real time. So everything about doing it online is just superior to doing it in person, other than the excitement of seeing that 80-pound fish. Because I would never want to get rid of that, but at the same time, there are better ways to do things. Because here's the thing, like you take a young kid and show him this, there's no excitement there. But you take a young kid to a weigh-in and he sees an 80-pound fish, that might hook him for life.
Yep.
I mean, not for conservation purposes, like to change up the aspect, but I mean, for tournament purposes, I mean, you could do all 3, but I mean, at some point it would get, or everybody goes out and brings in 1 fish. And you submit everything else online. So you're not overcrowding live wells. I like this idea because a boat can fish against a kayak, vice versa, which I don't think that's really fair. But if a kayak wants to do it, fine. On the same body of water.
We do that at Hoover.
Have guys that converted boats, that a bass boat that runs 60 miles an hour and doesn't have a space for a live well, but he has cat racks on the back. And he wants to catfish. He can go out and do that just fine. So it's possibly growing the tournament trails with more participation because you don't have to have that live well in the boat. You can do the online weighing or the online measuring and grow the sport better.
Mm-hmm.
But don't you think that, like, you're growing the sport for those that are fishing it, but like he just said, a kid isn't going to see you. I mean, like, they might see the video of it, but to actually be there and see it and like get to be up close to the fish,
Sure.
I don't know. Like, I feel like that's more going to get people's attention that have never done it before than versus sitting at a computer or on a phone watching you fish on a boat.
I don't know. I kind of feel like, I guess if everybody's going back to the same spot, to the same meeting, they're giving out the same amount of whatever it is for participation, raffles, camaraderie, just going to that event. And the fact that likely that kid caught numerous fish with it, but that's where, if we start changing people's mindsets on this, it starts with kids. And hopefully they caught a lot of fish. But I do agree with what the kid's going to love, to get up there and be the one to hold a fish up.
Yeah.
And maybe that's where you look at doing something a little different as well. Not kibosh.
And sponsors, like Wesley said, you get to go through a weigh-in line and you are announcing who your sponsors are, and then you send the recognition as well.
Mm-hmm.
But that can still be, so-and-so won, so-and-so won, so-and-so first, second, third place, and their sponsors are boom, 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 boom.
Do you do that? Do you have any tournaments that do that? Like, do they still come back and do like the placings, or do they just do it like online?
Our national trail, we run it just like a boat tournament. There's a night before check-in. There's an after tournament check-in. We do our awards all at one spot. If you don't make it to check-in in time, you're fully disqualified and you get no points for that tournament for the national trail. Every other tournament, though, is essentially online. Fish when you want, fish when you don't want. I love it because I'm lazy. I like waking up at 10 on water by 11 or noon, and I'm off the water by 3. If I did well, cool. If I didn't do well, who cares? I didn't have to be at a check-in at 6 a.m. I didn't have to do a live well check-in at 6 a.m. Like, and I could still compete.
Me too.
Yeah, like it's sweet. Like, I could probably still compete for 3 hours, but like, it's my choice. I don't have to be there. It's awesome.
A lot of the boat guys and the tournament guys ain't going to go for that.
But also, the other way works too. Let's say I'm sick of fishing. Noon rolls around. I have 4 fish on a leaderboard and I want to get the hell out of there because my day is just not good. I can leave right then and there. I don't got to go to I don't have to wait 4 hours for a weigh-in. My score's on the leaderboard already. Why would I have to wait 4 hours for a weigh-in? Now the national trail we do differently. We do national trail. You don't have a choice. You got to be there because there's a lot more on the line in the national trail. But the local ones, it's like, yeah, show up, fish when you want, register on time, get out when you're done.
You still would do a live well check. I mean, for boats, because you do them now. Why would you change it?
Oh, I was just saying if you want to have a more laid back one. But like I said earlier, there's literally, you can run it any way you want. That's the beauty about online. You can do anything you want. Back to the sponsors though. I do want to push back on that just a little bit. Every now and then, if I'm reaching out to a sponsor or something, they'll ask me about angler count in some tournaments, and I'm like, that's not what I'm selling you. I'm selling you clicks. I'm selling you 12-month sponsorship. I'm not selling you one individual tournaments. Let's say I get only 10 guys at a tournament, only 8 guys at a tournament, but I might have got you 40,000 views throughout the year on other stuff. Like the in-person, don't get me wrong, the in-person weigh-in line's great. But if a tournament administrator is selling a sponsor, that administrator should be selling that sponsor year round, not just at that tournament during the weigh-in line. So that's something I think administrators can do better overall. When a sponsor comes to you, like I hate when I hear a sponsor say how many people enter the tournament. I'm like, you're not in 2026, bud. Like that has nothing to do with what the sales I'm going to get you. The sales, my promotion to you is social media, not the tournament itself. I don't care if the tournament has 2 people. If I got you 40,000 clicks for that year, that's all that should matter. Like that, in today's day and age, that's all that should matter. 20 years ago, sure, in-person mattered because that's the only way people got their information. Today, what is that administrator getting you on social media? That should be the number one focus, is that. Codes, I hate running codes. I'm not going to lie. I cannot stand codes. Like, I get it. That's like their only barometer to really tell whatever. I hate it. I hate it with a passion though. But I mean, at the end of the day, like what kind of social media did I get you? That should be what you should be basing your sponsorship off of, not how many boats are in the tournament. Not saying it's not important, completely important. There's better ways to get your sponsors out there than the weigh-in line.
Mm-hmm.
Is there any other pop-up comments, questions that?
Um,
Am I getting slaughtered too bad?
No. They're being very, very respectful. No money in established anglers. The dollar is tied to new anglers coming in, hence the way in design. And then Mike Graham says it shouldn't matter what you can do for them. It's what you can do to just help each other out.
Keep the fish protected.
Wesley, yes, sir.
Are you talking about this one?
Yes.
I refuse to do codes. My O2.
My 2 cents. You overprice your crap already, so the one that doesn't have a code room. Yep. We don't do codes on Giant Tamer. I as running gun, yes, I have a code and stuff like that, but I don't push it heavy because that code isn't going to be the analytic behind how many sales I actually got you. If my videos have your product in it, almost every single video, that's millions of views. And whether they remember a code or not, because I'm not putting it on a small percentage because that doesn't look genuine. I'm not sharing this product because I have a code that I could make 10% on. It's what we use every day. So I don't push codes. And, again, on top of that, to piggyback off of that is when a company uses your videos in not only just their videos that they're sharing on their platform, but also paid advertisements and your code's not tied to it, that's still not showing the analytic of what my video got as far as sales. But anyway.
There you go, Hannon. There you go, bud. I'm not being professional.
Ban anyone who fishes pay lakes. That's a valid point. That let me say something there. People that there's been some talks lately, but people that fish tournaments, have fish tournaments, and preaching are then going to fish pay lakes recently too. they're not fishing farm raised catfish pay lakes. They're fishing trophy cat pay lakes. I'm going to say this is chasing outdoors. If you fish a pay lake, please don't buy my rods. Simple as that. Trophy pay lakes are not a place. There's just no place for them. And if there's people watching, I'm not going to go back and forth and argue all night long. It's not going to happen. But there's other companies out there that are taking stances. There's recently some people that have been fishing rivers and going back and fishing pay lakes. I don't see how you could do both and be okay with it. Not mentioning anybody's names, but you really can't. Those fish are not. If there's no need in a pay lake to, the fish are so well taken care of, why do you have to restock them? I should be able to go walk across the lake on top of catfish. There should be that stock. There would be no water in it because the mass is greater than the water, pushes it out. But they consistently have to restock.
Would you mind pulling my screen up for 1 second?
Yeah, and then it's 6:30, so we'll be.
Oh, okay. So, and I would like, if we could get more administrators to do this. So if you sign up for my tournaments, you have to acknowledge you won't fish pay lakes. And in my rule book, it's not the fact that you fish pay lakes that month. It's that you support them in any way, shape, or form, period, end of story. If you fish one of my tournaments and someone sends me a picture of you at a pay lake, I'm going to message you. I'm going to say, hey, I see you support pay lakes. If I see another photo of you at a pay lake from here on out, you're banned from my scene for life. And this isn't just like in this one tournament. It's you are gone for good. Like it's period, end of story. And if you sign up for our event and you actively support them after, I don't harass them, but after I explain to you what a pay lake is and educate you on the destruction they have done, if you still choose to support them after that publicly, then you are banned for life. Now, does this completely get rid of people fishing pay lakes? No, obviously. But there have been at least 100 people we have pulled off of pay lakes, or at minimum, got them to stop posting on social media about it. You got to look at everything as like a tangible win. So what we do here, like that's a tangible win. So I know for a fact there are still a handful of people in my tournaments that unfortunately fish pay lakes. They have not posted a single picture about it in years. And if you go in their history, every week it was them holding money up. It was them promoting pay lakes. Now, do they still fish pay lakes? Probably. I'm not driving pay lake to pay lake to pay lake to see if they're fishing them, but they're no longer promoting it. That's a win. A lot of them are no longer fishing pay lakes at all. That's a win. That's tangible evidence that we're doing something to help the community. Is it enough? No, it's just a very small piece of the puzzle, but at least it's something tangible. We're getting free advertising off from some people. We're taking some people off the lakes. So I know a lot of people get on their rants on social media about how they hate pay lakes. What have you done to tangibly take people off of them? Like, we need to figure out more ways to physically get these people off them, or at minimum, stop promoting them. Like, one or the other.
Yeah, that's all valid right there.
Yep. I think we can all agree, farm-raised fish, nobody, only stocking farm-raised fish. I don't think anyone on here would have a problem with somebody going there to take their food home and catch them and cook them.
Yep.
But awesome.
This was a lot of information. Do you have a site that they can go to if they're interested in looking into your tournament stuff?
Oh, I shouldn't have. I'll represent my screen. Give me 1 second.
Yeah.
And remember, support House Bill 397. Please, if you're in Kentucky, send a message to your state reps asking them to vote yes for House Bill 397. It's not been voted on yet. It's not been brought to a call to action or a call to vote yet. It's still in the House. They need to call it to vote, but they need to hear more Kentucky residents saying, please vote House Bill 397 yes.
On online catfishing tournaments on the YouTube page, if you go to 2026 important videos on the playlists, you click on that. There's 4 really quick videos. Anyone can learn how to do anything on our app in those 4 videos. It's like 1.5 minutes, 2 minutes, 5 minutes, 3 minutes. So if you can spend 20 minutes of your day going through these how-to videos, you literally, because that sometimes is a complaint is the learning curve, but anything new, there's going to be a learning curve. I have everything spelled out for you in there. And we active updates. These are technically all from 2025, but nothing changed. So I was like, why? I don't want to fix anything that's not broken. But yeah, online catfishing tournaments YouTube page, go to playlist 2026 important videos. You can figure out how to become part of our scene in 2 seconds.
Awesome. Well, we really appreciate you hopping on here, Kayak Mike, sharing all this information. That was a lot of information.
Mhm.
Good information, I feel like. So if anybody has questions, they can reach out to you, right?
Yeah, social media, just Kayak Mike, hit me up there.
All right.
Fishing
We
Chaos.
appreciate you guys hopping on. Is that
Thank you.
Fishing Chaos?
The app is Fishing Chaos. Yep.
Okay. Next week, we have Josh Roth joining us. So that should be a good one. Excited to see some of his new designs that he's working on for the year. Catch up with him for a little bit. So, Jeremy, we thank you for hopping on here. And just
Yes,
all
ma'am.
your support.
And it was nice talking to you both.
Yeah.
Appreciate
Thanks
you
for
guys
having me on.
Well,
Nice to be back with all of our
Yeah.
fans.
I will say this, Ashley, you made it an hour and 5 minutes, and you did not cut out. You must
I
have
know.
Jesse up on top holding some kind of metal something.
We got Starlink now. We're in
Yeah.
like the 21st century.
He's high tech.
I say
now.
that,
We have
and
the
I'm gonna
internet
drop
of the
something like that.
future.
Yeah.
Steven, if you need any tips or tricks, just follow Run and Gun Catfishing or Kayak Mike or Last Call.
Is that Hannon?
Yeah.
Yes, he makes fun of words I say. I don't enunciate, so he said, say tips.
All right, guys. Well, we appreciate you hopping on here, and we'll see you all next week.
Bye.
See ya.
Bye.